This is the new Mazda MX-30 and it's time for us to take it for a drive. As you know, and you've probably seen on the site, Susanna had a look at a pre-production version and she's had a bit of a drive of it, but today we get to drive it on the road and we've been really excited to do that. Now, you might find it funny that I'm excited to be driving this new Mazda. We're driving the hybrid, there's an electric version coming, and I'm concentrating here anyway on the doors. But have a look at this. There's a lot more important things about this car, obviously, we'll get to in a minute. But have a look at how broad that opening is. That opens, according to Mazda engineers, up to 82 degrees. When you're in the car and you open the door, it's almost like it's open square. It makes getting in and out so much easier and more practical, especially for older people or people who've got hip or knee problems. This makes it incredibly easy. Now, onto the second door. You'll be familiar with this from the RX-8 if you know Mazda product, because they did it with that car. And you could argue, why didn't they give us a conventional door? Fair enough, but the designers went with this. It fits the design language of this car. Have a look at this as well. Look how far that opens. So that opens almost square as well. Have a look at that aperture. It's huge, you've got plenty of room. Getting into and out of that second row is a lot easier than it otherwise would be. Makes you wonder, why don't all manufacturers do it that way? The 2-litre 4-cylinder petrol engine is paired with a mild hybrid system and makes 114 kilowatts at 6,000 RPM and 200 Newton metres at 4,000 RPM. It's mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission and front-wheel drive. Weighing in at 1,492 kilograms, the MX-30 certainly isn't a lightweight in this segment by any means, but claimed fuel use is an efficient 6.4 litres per 100 kilometres on the combined cycle. The cabin is an exercise of both form and function, and it's an attractive, modern take on the compact SUV. It has materials such as sustainably sourced heritage cork, master upholstery which is purely synthetic, it uses recycled PET materials, and there's a new lower console touchscreen that controls the air conditioning. There are 3 models available, starting with the G20E Evolve, which starts from $33,990 before on-road costs, moving up to the G20E Touring, which starts from $36,490 before on-road costs, and rounding out with the G20E Estina, which starts from $40,990 before on-road costs. All MX-30s have a 5-star ANCAP rating from 2020, and all models feature 10 airbags, radar cruise control with stop and go, and smart brake support. In the same way that we said the BMW i3 was a leap forward into sustainable materials, I think the cabin of the new Mazda is very much the same way. You've got things like cork and recycled materials, fully synthetic, and it's really nicely put together. It doesn't feel cheap, it doesn't feel tacky, so it's really well executed. And crucially, it feels like a Mazda cabin. I know that might sound strange given it's very different to a lot of the other Mazda products on the road, but this feels like a Mazda cabin. The other area that's really important for Mazda, and this is according to Mazda executives and Mazda engineers, is that this car feels like a Mazda when you drive it. And that's something that's really hard to define. But I guess if you've driven a car like a Mazda MX-5, you'll know exactly what they're talking about. It needs to feel engaging, you need to feel connected to the car, it needs to feel sporty, and it needs to deliver a level of driver enjoyment that a lot of cars in this segment might not otherwise do. So it needs to actually pinpoint those things and do that for the driver. And crucially, I think this car does do that. It's a really enjoyable little car to drive. It's more fun than you'd expect it to be in the twisty stuff. So if you find a country road that you really like, you'll find this is a really fun little car to drive. And it doubles as a really practical compact SUV, I guess, around town. It's useful. Wide opening doors, the second doors are quite clever, and there's enough room in the back seat to serve duty as a car that you can use around town. So for me, I think it ticks the boxes that Mazda needs it to tick. Our initial thoughts on the Mazda MX-30 are pretty positive, it has to be said, and it represents an exciting move into the future for the brand. And of course, there'll be an electric variant to come not too long after this hybrid that we've tested here. Let us know what you think in the comments section below, of course, but for us, this makes a hell of a lot of sense as a city-focused SUV that works pretty well when you get out into the country as well. So it's a big step forward for Mazda. It's a little bit different for the brand. but I think it works particularly well. Don't forget to hit like if you've enjoyed the video, click on subscribe, and of course the full review at CarAdvice.com.